மேம் என்னால ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ண முடியல.
One second. Okay, Vagaima.
ஓகே மேம், ஓகே மேம். Good evening, sir.
Gayatri ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. கேக்குது நீங்க பேசுறது.
Okay, okay, okay.
Ma'am. Ma'am, shall we start the session, ma'am? Shabina, ma'am?
Ma'am, we can start, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. The students will keep on joining, ma'am.
Let them join, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Students? Yes, are you ready, ma'am? Yes? Yes, ma'am, kindly start.
Start, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Start, ma'am. Priyadashni.
May the serenity of this beautiful evening touch your soul and put your mind at ease. Good evening. To one and all, it gives me an immense pleasure to extend you a very warm welcome on behalf of Institute Innovation Council, Management and Staffs member of Prince Sri Venkateswara Arts and Science College, who has clubbed all of us for the webinar on innovation and entrepreneurship in life science. Every graceful movement should begin with prayer. True prayer is neither a mere mental exercise nor a vocal performance. Let us start this section with Tamil Thai Valtu to embed the beginning of this special day. Now I would like to request Padmashri to sing Tamil Thai Valtu.
Tamil Thai Valtu. நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கிழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிது தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த தாவிரன் திருநாளும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே. நன்றி.
Thank you, Padmashri. Now I welcome Subiksha to deliver the welcome address.
Good evening, everyone. I'm extremely privileged to get this opportunity to address you all on this auspicious occasion on innovation and entrepreneurship in life science. On behalf of my management of Prince Sri Venkateswara Arts and Science College, I extend my warm welcome to our resource person, Dr. Anish Iyer, who will be sharing his knowledge on innovation and entrepreneurship. I'm absolutely confident of this session that after this session, everyone will get much conscious and realization about innovation. We heartily welcome you, sir. Now, I would like to welcome a source of inspiration and motivation, our chairman, sir, Dr. K. Vasudevan, whose action has inspired us to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. We welcome you, sir. I extend a warm welcome to our jestful Vice Chairman, sir, Engineer V. Prasanna Venkatesh, Prince Group of Institution, who has been supporting us in many ways unimaginably. Now, I delightfully welcome our Principal, Madam, Dr. M. Umar Bhaskar. We have been growing up intellectually under the guidance of our Principal, ma'am. We kindly welcome you, ma'am. Last but not least, I would also welcome our HOD ma'am, Dr. K. Pungodai, and our beloved staff members of our department. And my dear friends, innovation is a specific tool of entrepreneur that means by which they exploit change as an opportunity for a different business or a different service. Creativity is thinking up new things and innovation is doing new things. I hope this session will provide more knowledge. I wish you all for a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Subiksha. Now I would like to call upon Dr. Aslinden to address the opening remark of this webinar.
A very good evening, one and all gathered here. I am here to welcome you all for this special webinar event on behalf of IIC and Echo Club of our institution. First of all, I am taking this opportunity to welcome and thank the chairpersons of Prince Group of Institution, Dr. K. Vasudevan sir, Dr. Vishnu Karthik sir, Engineer Prasanna Venkatesh sir, and our beloved Principal Ma'am, Dr. Uma, for giving this opportunity. We are ecstatic to have our resource person, Dr. Anish Nair, Principal Scientist and Head at NIMS Medicity, who joined with us today. He has designed, developed, and managed laboratories of various scales in academic, medical, and research institutions. Today, we all have gathered here for a webinar on innovation and entrepreneurship in life science, which teaches how to translate life science discoveries into products and services that will improve health. We believe that this is an excellent opportunity to learn from you and be inspired to think beyond. On behalf of everyone, I extend a warm welcome to you, sir. I extend my sincere welcome to our head of the department, Dr. K. Pungodai ma'am, Echo Club coordinator, Dr. Gayatri Devi ma'am, IIC coordinator, Dr. Sabina ma'am, and my fellow colleagues and all the dignitaries in attendance. Your presence will enhance the webinar value. Thank you for giving me this opportunity as a part of the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for a cheerful address. Now I would like to call upon Dr. K. Sabina, IIC coordinator, to give an introduction about IIC.
Gayatri ma'am, shall I share the screen? Can you close the screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
A very good evening to one and all present here. On behalf of Institutions Innovation Council, I extend a very warm welcome to our respected resource person, Dr. Anish Nair, our head of the department, Dr. K. Pungodai, Eco Club coordinator, Dr. S. Gayatri Devi, our faculty members, and all the dear students who have gathered here virtually for attending this webinar session. And here my duty is to give an introduction about Institutions Innovation Council. Institutions Innovation Council is an initiative of MHRD, Government of India. It was established in the year 2018. IIC of Prince Venkateshwara Arts and Science College was initiated in the IIC calendar year 2020-21. IIC is a faculty expert student council which takes on multiple activities to promote innovation and entrepreneurship round the year. IIC's main objective is to prepare the students with skills like critical thinking, design thinking, innovative thought process, and entrepreneurial mindset. The major functions of IIC include to conduct various innovation and entrepreneurship related activities, to organize periodic workshops, seminars, and interaction with entrepreneurs, and also to organize hackathons, idea competitions, and mini challenges. Major focus of IIC is to create a vibrant local innovation ecosystem within the campus. There are various benefits of IIC to institute, faculty, and students. Students and faculty associated with IIC will get exclusive opportunity to participate in various innovation-related initiatives and to win exciting prizes and certificates as a part of this. They can visit new places and learn a new culture of innovation. The theme of Prince Sri Venkateswara Arts and Science College IIC is to imagine, innovate, and invent. So with these notes, I conclude my introductory speech, and I wish today's webinar session is going to be a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. It was an amazing speech from you. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. S. Gayatri Devi, Eco Club Coordinator, to give an introduction about IIC.
Shabina ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Stop sharing.
1 second, ma'am. 1 second. Sorry, ma'am, I'm not able to stop sharing. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Right.
ma'am, I think you're on mute.
Right, ma'am.
Yes. Again, yes. So, yes, we'll come from the first. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session. So the main aim of the Eco Club is establishing the Eco Club to conserve the natural resources and the natural environment, to create eco-friendly environment and create awareness of the biodiversity conservation and local environmental issues among students, and to create a clean and green consciousness among the students through various innovative methods. So Eco Club plays an important role in creating environmental awareness to the future generations. And amongst the future generations, the main motive of the Eco Club is to nurture and teach the importance of the environment to the students. And our Eco Club was inaugurated on 11/1/2017 by our Vice Chairman, Engineer B. Prasanna Venkatesh, and our Principal Ma'am, Dr. M. Uma, and Mr. Govindarajan, President, Exnora Greater Chennai. And it was organized by former HOD Ma'am, Dr. T. Arulmuri, Department of Microbiology. And Eco Club offer programs and activities to encourage everyone to reduce pollution, plant trees, save water, make clean surroundings, and more. And our Eco Club in our college is a voluntary group which promotes the participation of students, teachers in learning and protecting the environment. So Eco Club is a platform to encourage our students to improve their knowledge about environment and to manage the crisis whenever it is arising, and to create a clean and green consciousness among the students through various innovative methods. So the major activities of Eco Club are, with the help of NSS volunteers, it does its best effort for a green campus, and it organizes rallies, marches, human chains at public places with the due to spread environmental awareness. And the plantation programs are also undertaken at regular intervals through Eco Club and NSS in the college. And the environment is about people, places, and spaces. It's not just a physical environment. So we believe in the power of education, of believe in the power of educating in helping young people to shape their future environment in sustainable way. So welcome everyone, and hope you'll have a fruitful session today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was lively. Now I would welcome Anusha Shri to introduce our resource person.
Good evening, all. It is an honorable moment to welcome the most charming and knowledgeable person, Dr. Anish Nair, to our webinar. Thank you for accepting our invitation and giving your presence to our webinar, sir. He is such a young and dynamic person who is currently working as principal scientist and head genomics at NIMS Medicity, Trivandrum, where he spearheads the operations of the Center for Genomic Medicine. His doctoral research was on genetic diversity of pteridophytes and its bioprospecting using alternate endomycophyte technology against colon adenocarcinoma. His PG was in molecular bio from the University of Madras. He also holds PG diploma in bioinformatics and a master's in international business management. He is also an NABL certified internal auditor and an authorized signatory under ISO 15189/2012 and NABL recruitment for healthcare and certified NABL authorized signatory for genomics. He is a dynamic and versatile clinical scientist with extensive research, experimental, and methodological experience in translational medical research. Sought after speaker who successfully articulates complex ideas to diverse audience in major forums. He published author of 20+ manuscripts that appear in peer-reviewed journals, 20+ gene sequence in NCBI Gene Bank, and scientific national and state level presentation and abstracts. We were very glad to welcome you, sir, and excited awaiting for your speech. Over to you, sir.
Good evening. I think whoever is sharing the screen needs to close the screen sharing so that I can share my screen. Yeah, thank you. Ma'am, I need to be made the host so that I can, or co-host so that I can share the screen.
Yes, sir.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks to the management of Prince Sri Venkateswara College and Dr. Gayatri for giving me this opportunity here to share and share my ideas and interact with you wonderful students. Well, a wonderful topic on a wonderful evening: innovations and entrepreneurship in life sciences. So my name is Anish, and I handle genomic medicine at NIMS Medicity. And as part of my profile here, I'm also part of the incubation center here. So before we get into or dive into what happens to innovations, what is innovation, and how do you convert an innovation into an entrepreneurship, especially in life sciences, let's understand why you're here. When everybody was being asked to become an engineer or a doctor, That's the usual trend in our country, right? When everyone was asked to be that, you dared to be different. You took the less chosen path of biotechnology or microbiology or biochemistry, right? So first of all, hats off to that. Now, when we are talking about innovation, let's understand what, one second. Yeah, when we are talking about innovation, let's understand what's innovation. Okay, different people call it by different names or different definitions. Now, Lemonson at MIT categorizes innovation as the complex process of introducing novel ideas into use or practice. Right. What does Council of Competitiveness say? It says innovation occurs at the intersection of invention and insight. It's about application of invention. So it's not just thinking process, it's what next after thinking. This reminds me of a quote by the great Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dreams are not that put you to sleep. Dreams are that make you not to sleep. So if you start dreaming and stop sleeping and convert your dreams into actions, then there becomes an innovation and entrepreneurship, right? Peter Drucker called knowledge applied to tasks that are new and different as innovation, right? And a company called 3M defines innovation as the transformation of knowledge into money. Precisely the very good definition, because we think innovation is nothing but, you have to think, that's all. But innovation is not that. Your thought process, when it starts converting into money, the knowledge converts into money, it becomes innovation. Okay. So is this whole concept of innovation new to life sciences? No, definitely not. What has been the innovations in life sciences? The idli that we eat in the morning, that even our grandmothers used to serve us, the curd that we eat, the bread that we eat, the wine that we drink, all these are innovations in life sciences, right? So just that the terms or biotechnology as a term or innovation in life sciences as a phrase, that is new. But the actual happening or actual application is not new. People have been playing around with in life sciences since time immemorial, right? As a result, you have these products. I'm not endorsing any product. Let me make it very clear. I'm not endorsing any product. I'm just giving an example. These are the different items, apart from the ones which I showed in the previous slide, which reflect innovations in life sciences. From the food that we eat, the packaged food that we eat, or the antiseptic that we use for cleaning, on wounds, or even for cleaning, or taking a shower gel, the floor cleaners, the chocolates, the ice creams, the bathroom cleaners, the butter, everything. All these are innovations in life sciences. They were at one point of time somebody's thought process. Now it is a household item, right? So that is what we should be thinking when we talk about innovations in life sciences or entrepreneurship in life sciences. Many times when I come across students, they say, sir, end idea mein namakilla. The second thing is life sciences, biotech yaar innovation panni adella romba kashtam, it takes a lot of time and all that. No, nothing new. No, it's not that. That's not the case. The thing is, the opportunities are ample. To convert your idea into a product, but you have to think. You have to think in a wide way. You cannot broaden your thought process. That is where you need to put your thinking caps on. Okay, if you think that anything innovative in life sciences is a very big rocket science. No. What is Harpic? What is Lysol? All these are nothing but antibacterial and as well as anti-stain things put together, right? A formulation. Now every house has it. Can you imagine a house which doesn't have a floor cleaner or a toilet cleaner? Every house has it. It's become a household item now. Once upon a time, it was just a thought. That's innovation. Now, does that mean that everything which had to be innovated is over? No, you're still innovating. Idlis have taken the shape of frozen idlis now. People are buying frozen idlis, reheating and eating. That's how lazy we have become. We don't have the, In fact, common man's laziness is the biggest, venture or biggest advantage that you have as an innovator. Okay, you can actually, use that laziness. Their laziness is your bliss, right? So when you say frozen idlis, that's because people who are working now, maybe a young couple, both husband and wife are working, or even bachelors, they don't have the time to sit and prepare the batter and then pour it and then eat it and then eat fresh idlis. No, what they do, buy frozen idlis on the go, microwave it, pop it into the mouth, sleep. So that's an innovation. So innovation and the scope is plenty. Now, when you talk about innovation and entrepreneurship, in life sciences or in general, what is the flow? How does things happen? It starts with an idea, a small idea, which we can also call as a discovery, and then understanding the scope of discovery, like what, how, where can you apply it, etc. Once that's done, once you are very clear about what you're going to do, then build a business case. Okay, business case is nothing but where is your funding going to come from? What are you, what is your return of investment, which is called ROI, and what are the hurdles? Basically, for every idea, you do a SWOT analysis. What is SWOT? SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Okay, so you analyze what are the strengths of your idea. You analyze what are the weaknesses of your idea. You analyze what are the opportunities through your idea, and you analyze the threats in your idea. Pavitra has raised a hand. Is there a question that I need to address?
No.
Pavitra, was it by mistake?
Yes, by mistake. Yes.
Okay, right. So yes, so you build a business case based on the SWOT analysis. Once that's done, then you focus on developing a prototype, right? A prototype is nothing but the first version. Now, if it is a service, then the prototype will be the service model. If it is a equipment or a consumable, that is, if it's a product, then you need to develop the first prototype. Develop the prototype. Prototype is nothing but the first form. So whatever was in your brain, whatever was in your thought, you have given it a shape and created it. That is a prototype. So the next stage would be development of the prototype. Now, once your prototype is formed, once you have given shape to a prototype, the next that you need to do is test and evaluate. Now, testing and evaluate totally depends upon what kind of a product you're using. If it's a medtech product, medical technology product, then you might have to tie up with hospitals or medical colleges or clinics or labs, and then using their samples, evaluate if your prototype is giving you the expected results, right? So that is what comes under testing and evaluation, a very, very important part of your product development. Why? Because you may think one way, but whatever happens would be in a different way. So you can never expect that. So you should be open to it, and a rigorous testing and evaluation has to be given to the prototype. Otherwise, what will happen later on after you bring the product into the market, you may end up facing problems, and you may have to withdraw the product from the market and reissue a fresh version. So to avoid that, my suggestion is to undergo a lot of testing and evaluation. Initially, it starts with known people, then unknown people, end users, etc., etc., so that there's a transparent testing and evaluation. Finally, once you go through that, the next stage would be a launch. Okay, you launch the product into the market. Now, once you launch, the next thing that you will see that you face would be the post-launch reviews. That is, once you have launched the product, what are your customers saying? What are your consumers saying? Are they happy with it? Do they want some other value addition to be done in it? Did they find a bug in it? Is there some errors in it? All that will be there in your post-launch reviews. Okay, so you need to be expecting that next. Now, coming to startups, especially in life sciences, not only in life sciences, others also, but especially in life sciences, because we believe, the life sciences community believes, and that is a matter of fact, that life sciences startups or life sciences industry as such is a very capital intensive industry. You require a lot of money. Now, even for a a PCR machine, for example, or even for a biosafety cabinet to grow your cultures, you need 50,000 rupees to start with. So to set up a whole lab according to the correct standards, etc., you will have to put in a lot of money. So startups are easy to start, but challenging to grow, right? Now you may ask me, how is it easy to start? I'll show you the funding options in the latest slides. But once you start, I mean, getting a funding, I would say, is only the tip of the iceberg. Okay, the challenge is not in getting the funding. Of course, there is a challenge in getting the funding at a certain level. But once you cross that, how do you maintain that funding? Or how do you ensure that your revenue continues and you're able to sustain your startup? That is the biggest challenge. That's why I said starting up is the tip of the iceberg. Funding is the tip of the iceberg. What lies below the sea is humongous. Okay, everyday challenges and how you plan to keep generating your revenues without taking a break is what is the major part of your iceberg, which is very, very difficult. I'm not demotivating you, but this is the fact. And the entire startup journey, just like the image on the screen, is a tough maze. Okay, but then when you're starting up, especially in India, keep in mind the Indian context, how people in India react, how people in India purchase, what is the psychology of the Indian consumer, or where do you have opportunities? All that in the Indian context needs to be analyzed. Something that was a boom in the US or the UK or Germany may or may not work in India. Okay, so keep that in mind. Your geographical location or the service area or the product selling area makes a lot of difference. Now, what are the key points when you're planning to convert your innovation into a startup? So first thing that you need to address is identify the pain point. Now, if you're planning to innovate something, first of all, there are two types of innovations. One is serendipity. That is, for example, all of you microbiologists must be knowing about Alexander Fleming's discovery of a penicillin, right? It was accidental. So many innovations are accidental. The other set of discoveries are planned, like polymerase chain reaction. Okay, when Carey Mullis discovered or invented the technique, it was planned. And way back in 1983, it was planned. He was heading nucleic acid research, and he wanted to come out with something which is going to help. And he, in the end, got it. It became a Nobel Prize idea, and then you know where PCR stands now. You cannot imagine diagnostic lab without a PCR machine. You can actually not imagine the n number of applications that small technology has. Not only in medical, in agriculture, in biotechnology, in micro industries, everywhere you have molecular biology, you have PCRs. And now there are different variations of PCR. Okay. So identifying the pain point. So the second category of discoveries, wherein you're planning to discover something, where you're thinking of, yes, I need to do something, independently, then yes, what we need to do is identify certain pain points. Now, when I say pain points, that means where is there a opportunity for you to venture in? Okay, it could be, as simple as a machine to help, open up something. Maybe a good opener. I'm just giving you random examples. Okay, so as simple as that, or as complex as a stem cell based tissue generation, or a tissue regeneration, or a 3D printed tissue models. So it can be anything. You need to identify where you are fitting in. If you're a microbiologist and you are intended in coming out with something in microbiology, it's humongous space. Food, dairy, agriculture, everywhere, medical, health, everywhere there are opportunities in microbiology. You need to identify what has to be done. Okay. Next, who is going to pay for it? Now, it's if you come out with a bottle opener and which costs you around 1,500 rupees, do you think any customer will buy it? No. So you need to keep in mind who's going to pay for your service or product. That is very important. If you find that you are innovating something, you should understand that the cost price, sale price, all that needs to be kept in mind. You need to understand who's going to buy, who's your customers, who's going to buy, what will be their buying purchase psychology, all that needs to be analyzed. Okay. Next, competition and IP landscaping. Now, for example, you can even come out with a new soap, okay, a regular bath soap. Now, there's a lot of competition in that, but then still there is a scope for new soap. You can add some extra value to it, some other value addition that you may think about. Okay. Now, but then that will be a highly competitive market. But if you come out with something which is very innovative, nothing like that exists in the market, then yes, your competition lessens, your IP landscape is very frugal, right? So you need to, analyze, do a lot of pre-launch analysis or pre-thought processes so that, everything works out perfectly. Next, validate the technology and feedback. I told you how important this is based when I was discussing in the last slide. So it's a very important part wherein you ensure that you have whatever technology that you are, working with, that has been validated by you personally, and apart from you, it has been validated by certain users. They could be the end users, they could be your friends, your relatives, so on and so forth. As many feedbacks as you get, the better you become. Okay. Now then, microvision and macrovision. Microvision is a small thing. Just when you're starting up, what is your small vision? What are you planning to do? Macrovision is at the end of 10 years, where do you see yourself? Okay, so you have to focus on both, not like, okay, now I have this idea, I'm going to start off. No, nothing like that. You have to have a larger picture as well. Okay, then comes the hero of the story, basically the funding part. I have n number of ideas, but who's going to fund me? Yes, there are people out there, even if you don't have money, they are ready to fund, provided your idea is worth the funding. Okay, we'll have a look at it shortly. When you're talking about building up startups or building up, companies, this is basically the flow chart. The risks increase with time, increase in time, right? It all starts with a microvision, a small idea that you see, goes through the research and development phase, then comes into the seed fund phase, and then it starts climbing up the wave, wherein you need to start up. Then comes the early stage phase. Then there has to be a break-even phase. What do you mean by break-even phase? The phase wherein whatever you have invested the money, you are kind of getting some revenue out of it. So that becomes break-even. Once your break-even is done, once you have undergone a break-even process, then you call yourself as an established company. It goes higher up, and then there is a mature stage. Now, after mature, I have put a decline also, but sometimes you can have a sedentary straight line as well. You can continue earning money. Now, that all depends on how you think about it. As I told you, your microvision and macrovision both needs to be taken into consideration. If you have a product which is a huge success now, doesn't mean 10 years down the line, you will use the same product. I mean, people will use the same product. For example, when floppy disks came, I don't know how many of you have heard about floppy disks also, but nowadays, when floppy disks came, it was a big success. Okay, storage devices, portable storage devices, people are copying data, very minute, maybe few MBs, but at that point of time, it was a huge thing, right? Then came your pen drives and CDs. Then came the CDs and then came the pen drives. We don't see floppy disks anymore. So if the person who innovated floppy disks still continues to sell floppy disks, you don't have a market, right? So if you don't grow along with, or if you don't keep innovating along with the requirements of the industry, you will definitely have a decline even after maturing. Okay, so be very careful when you're planning for your futures, right? At different stages, you can plan for your funding options. Now, when we talk about entrepreneurship development, as a institution council, innovation council that you have, you can be, basically the students can be put through 3 phases. One is innovate, next is ignite, and third is incubate. So innovate is you think and come out with some ideas. Ignite is you get all the kind of motivations and support. So when I say support, I mean how to set up a company, what are the regulations of registering a company? What are the different forms of company? Is it a Section 25 company? Is it a private limited company? Is it an LLP? Is it a partnership company? Is it a public this thing? All that, or is it a trust or an NGO that you're planning to come? All that needs to be guided. Okay, that can be done by the IIC. Sorry, and finally, as an IIC, you can enable an incubation of the startup in your premises. So maybe their R&D phase can be incubated in the IIC, and once they are in a position to graduate out of the incubator, they can be encouraged to do so, and the next startup can incubate. Now, your space, your infrastructure, all that will come into place here. But this is how a perfect IIC or a perfect incubator setup would help promote entrepreneurship in students' culture. Yeah, so nurturing entrepreneurship, this is again for the IIC members, faculty members, basically, wherein you need to understand and perform entrepreneurial motivation, then opportunity recognition, and the commercialization. So all these phases you need to help out. So the social and economic importance of commercializing science and technology, the innovative aspects of it, education and training, role models, examples, discussions, all these, like the seminar, today's seminar, all these will be a motivation to all budding entrepreneurs. For recognizing opportunities, you need to give or expose the students to, what are the options or what are the possible directions in which they can think. Okay, so that is what it comes under opportunity recognition, which is a very important aspect of entrepreneurship. Commercialization. Now, once they have an idea, once the students have an idea, how do you commercialize it, or how do you get money out of it? How do you get revenue out of it? Are you going to, if you have a product, are you going to manufacture it yourself? Are you going to give a OEM based manufacturing, or are you going to do a complete technology transfer? Or are you going to sell the patent? All these are different forms of commercialization of your innovative idea. So that guidance or that mentorship needs to be given by the IIC. Now, when you're working towards developing an entrepreneurial venture, this is generally the framework for the necessary factors. Okay, so there are government-related factors. That is, there are a lot of procedures and protocols prescribed by the government. Suppose if you're a manufacturing facility, then you need to get a manufacturing license, pollution certificate. Direct. If it's a private limited, then you have to do a director's registration, get a DIN number. Then if it's nowadays you have this Udyogadar, Udayam thing, all that needs to be taken into consideration when you're establishing or developing an enterprise. Then you have to take into consideration the cultural factors, the personal factors, the training of the founders, financial factors, what's the funding, social factors, how is it going to fit into the society. All these have to be considered to establish and come out with a positive entrepreneurship development or enterprise development. Okay, these are very, very important. Now, just for an idea, I was just thinking, where can you innovate? What when you think, okay, we as a life science students, what are the opportunities available to us? I just listed out. It's just a glimpse. The avenues are many, many more. Trust me, your innovation. The limit of your innovation is when you stop, stop thinking. So it's. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So as an example, if you look at agri biotechnology, okay, you have options of productions or innovating traditional complementary medicines. Now, not necessary that you have to stick to the Ayurveda or the Siddha or the homeopathy or the Unani schemes. What you can do is you can take hints from there and develop complementary medicines, right? You can do your own modifications according to the requirement of the people. Value-added products, high-yield crops, natural substances, nutraceuticals, food supply, new agriculture, or better seeds or better technology to monitor plant diseases, etc. On this occasion, I remember there was a student who wanted to do a startup based on thermal mapping. That is, through drones, they were planning to screen land areas or agricultural fields, large agricultural fields, or large places like tea gardens and tea estates. Through drones, they will monitor the thermal map, and using artificial intelligence and deep learning, they were planning to come out with algorithms which would identify diseased plants to target them, and then so that the farmers or the people in the estates can go identify the plant and then do the necessary actions. So this is a classic example of innovation in agri-biotechnology. Coming to industrial biotechnology, microbe technologies, biofuels, green chemistries, enzymes or catalysts, biomaterials, all this comes under industrial biotechnology. Coming to healthcare, tropical diseases, contract research organizations, clinical trials, diagnostic and biomedical instruments, vaccines, contract manufacturing, bioinformatics analysis services, biomaterial productions. For example, dentists are looking at a possible replacement of the dental amalgam, for example. Now, so you can come out with newer ideas and innovative products. For example, nano hydroxyapatite can be used as a dental material. So what are the different ways in which you can think, especially healthcare biotechnologies post COVID, or right now in COVID, once the COVID started, or post-pandemic area? I can't literally call it post-pandemic area, but whatever era that we are in right now, people have realized the importance of healthcare, and that's why a lot of healthcare startups are booming up, right from molecular diagnostic kits through sequencing, all type of consumables, manufacturing. Everything has seen a boom, and the only industry which survived and grew during the pandemic season was the healthcare technology services, right? So that is a very potential application that you can think about. Now, this is a small example of a wonderful innovation. I just wanted to give you an example of an innovation. Artificial pancreas. I'm sure you must have heard about it, but whenever I talk about innovations in life sciences, I really admire this kind of innovations, wherein this is nothing but what do our pancreas do? Our pancreas are supposed to secrete insulin and manage the glucose levels in the body according to the requirement. As and when the levels go down, when the insulin levels go down, push it in or secrete the insulin. Now, when our pancreas fail, that is when we become diabetic, right? So this particular innovation has been very helpful, wherein you carry artificial pancreas. It is nothing but, as you see, this is a sensor here, okay, and then there is a pouch and there's a monitor linked. So what happens nowadays? If you have seen diabetic patients taking insulin, they need to be very precise about the timings, and half an hour before the food they need to take it, and that particular dose. Sometimes they may be traveling, then that becomes an issue. Sometimes they miss, that becomes an issue. So this is a constant monitoring of glucose, and as and when the glucose levels go down, the insulin is pumped in, okay, through the technology that you see. There's a glucose monitor which reflects, alerts, and then pushes the insulin from the pouch into the body through the insulin injection. So you just wear this in the morning, go around doing your regular day work, not bothering about your glucose levels, and ensure that your glucose levels are managed. So isn't this a wonderful idea? So things like this, start thinking. Maybe in my next presentation, I would be talking about one of Prince Sri Venkateswara's students coming out with a wonderful idea. You never know. Now, some startups that, again, I'm not endorsing any company as such. This is just a random list of startups that I came across and I thought of sharing with you. Xcode Life Sciences in Chennai, Map My Genome, Hyderabad, OncoStem Diagnostics, Pandarum Technologies, C6 Energy, Bugworks Research, Zoomotor Biologics, Viome Therapeutics, and MedGenome. Now, some of these are service-oriented startups like MedGenome and Map My Genome. Some of them, like Pandarum, etc., are basically product-based services. Bugworks Research is a wonderful startup by Dr. Anand, where he works on antimicrobial resistance. He's got crores of funding from both Indian government as well as international funding, and a lot of VC venture capitalist fundings as well. C6 Energy basically is a startup which was started focusing on the sea. Okay, focusing on the sea as in many parts or many these things of the sea has been harvested for the better usage. So there has been a lot of value-added products that have been generated from the sea. MedGenome is a molecular diagnostics and genomics company again, who has seen a very good rise once they started up, excellently funded, organization. Map My Genome, again, they started off with the idea that, every question has an answer in your DNA. For example, if there are two obese people who want to do a weight loss, who's undergoing a weight loss program, but the same diet, both of them tried, one of them lost weight, one of them did not. Now, the problem is some people have some particular DNA, some particular metabolizers, some do not have. So the answer to this lies in your DNA. So Map My Genome basically gives you an idea of your personal genome and then tells you or prescribes you if you need to, go through a weight loss program, or if you need to understand about your immunity or skin, etc., etc. So these are different examples of the startups. Now coming to the funding options. So as a startup entrepreneur, what you need to look at is government schemes to start with, because I know it's tough, it's difficult, but then, that's the most comfortable way of getting the funding. For example, I'll show you about the BIRAC program. And there are a lot of government schemes which encourage individuals or scientists or, incubated companies to apply for projects and get funding, starting from 50 lakhs to crores. So you should look at different options from different funding agencies like DBT, BIRAC, DST, ICMR, WHO, CARBEX, DBT Nano, then Gati. All of them have their own individual schemes. Now, private investors, quite risky, but then yes, somewhere or the other, they give you a lot of money, but at the same time, they expect a lot of money. Angel investors or venture capitalists, yes, that's another category of funding options that you can look at. Finally, coming to bank loans. Bank loans, of course, it's moderated, and then they will also be judging you based on the ROI or return of investments. Now, I wanted to share this slide on what BIRAC is doing. BIRAC is basically Biotechnology Industry Research Assistant Council. They come under DBT, and they have different programs at different stages of product development. Now, if it's a small idea to start with, they have this big program, which is Biotechnology Ignition Grant. Currently, I think they're open, if I'm not wrong. 15th is the last date, if I'm correct. So what they do is you submit an idea online, and then they evaluate your idea, and if your idea is worthy of funding, they are ready to fund up to. One second. Yeah, they are ready to fund up to 50 lakhs into your personal account. So based on the product idea, etc. Then comes SIBRI, then comes BIP, then comes CRS. There are different programs. So if you go through their website, it will be easy for you to understand what are the different options. But yes, definitely a wonderful, and the best part is, see, when earlier when fundings was thought about by the government, we used to wait for a year and a half or years to, get a reply. And, if the call for is 2022, maybe you get the result in 2023 and the funding in 2024. Now, BIRAC has sped it up, and the results come out in 3 months' time. You will get the funding into your account, and proper follow-up is done. And if it's a 3 years project, they ensure that you complete it in 3 years, give them the results as well. So that's a big help that BIRAC has been doing. Now, this biotechnology Ignition grant, for example, This is for the establishment and validation of proof of concept, and encourages the researchers to take technology closer to market through a startup. Okay. Basically, target groups are entrepreneurs from the academia or incubatees, mostly PhDs, medical degree holders, MTech, engineering graduates, etc. The support that you get is a grant and aid up to 50 lakhs, mentoring and handholding, and this scheme supports from the proof of concept stage. So on that note, let me tell you that if you are facing hurdles, if you are thinking that I am only procrastinating, I am not able to think anything, or maybe your thought has been joked upon by somebody else, so someone laughs at you, remember, don't stop thinking. The moment you stop thinking, you are killing the scientist within you. Okay. And also remember, today's foolish idea, maybe tomorrow's Nobel Prize holder, or you may never know, the next Ambani in the line. Okay. So on that note, thank you so much. If there's any question, I'll be open to answer.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for the inspiring speech you gave us, sir. Thank you, sir. Everyone present at this occasion was not only his wonder of knowledge, but also greatly impressed by your presenting style. It was a great pleasure to listen to your wise words and learn so much from it. I take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of our entire administration and students who were benefited by your talk. Thank you, sir. Now the session is open for discussion.
I also want to add up that basically when you are talking about entrepreneurship and innovations, the first thing that you can look into is your final year projects. The master's students definitely have a project coming up, right? So focus on that. I mean, whatever ideas that you have or whatever you're thinking about, start on that, on the project, and then maybe you can scale it up. Yeah, if there's any questions.
There is a question that what is the difference between copyright and patent? Can you make a difference between that?
Okay, so copyright and patent, it basically differs when you are looking at it from what are you copywriting, what are you patenting. Okay, so a logo, for example, can be copyrighted. Okay, a name can be copyrighted. A product can be patented. So that is basically the difference in layman's language. That is the difference between copyright and patent.
And one more question is that, can we file a patent before publishing the paper, or we need to patent it and to publish the papers?
Okay, so if you're not divulging your entire data, okay, there are certain loopholes. So of course, if you are planning to publish the paper and then go for a patent, then that will be a risky thing. So a part of your product that you're patenting, a part of the technology that you're patenting, or the study that you've done, that can be published, and then you can go for the patenting, no harm in it. But the entire thing as such, if you first publish and then go for a patent, that is quite risky. Two things. One is there is a lot of gap for patenting. Patenting requires a certain period of time. It's a slow process. So by that time, somebody else can think of some other idea, and that IP can be copied. So it's always better to restrict your publication and go ahead with patenting first. But there is a problem there. In case someone else starts thinking in your lines and somebody else comes with a similar idea and publishes the paper, then you will lose. I mean, they may have an upper hand when it comes to the patent. So it's a risk thing that you have to judge.
Thank you. Chadi ma'am, would you like to say something?
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, once our PhD is completed and once our Viva is over, there is any possibility of patenting any of our work, sir?
I didn't get you, ma'am. Once the PhD is over?
That is our Viva PhD. We are submitting the dissertation.
Right.
But after that, we have an idea of patenting. And is it possible for that? I'm asking, sir.
That is from your PhD work itself, right?
Yes. Sir.
Yes, quite possible. For example, if you're working on an antimicrobial agent or an anti-biofilm agent or a some sort of a compound that you have extracted from a plant or whatever it is, whatever that you have an idea for, that can be patented post your PhD submission. There's no harm in that. In fact, that's how people get into patents. So if you are working on a compound, mostly people work with some bioactive compounds or things like that, that can easily be patented. So there's no harm in after submission of the thesis, you can always patent it. There's no restriction like that.
But I heard that it has been open. No, once we submit the dissertation, the ideas and all become open to everybody. There's no confidentiality in that. So how come it can be patented?
That is what. So you should put it for patent as soon as you submit your thesis. So there's no harm because it's your idea, whatever data that you have, it's in the open, as in, when you are presenting your data, you're not sharing the data as such. Okay. You in a PhD presentation, for example, what you're doing is you will have a graph, but where is the background data of that graph that nobody knows, right? So that's why if a third person feels like, copying your idea, they'll have to actually do it and then generate the data and then go for a patent. By the time you can easily submit a patent.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir, another one question.
Yes,
you have just said about funds for PhD level and all. Is
yes,
there any funding for a startup project or a mini project for MSc level students, sir? If it is there, what are the formalities for that?
Yeah, so for MSc level in Tamil Nadu, the Tamil Nadu Science and Technology Council itself has a final year project, but the amount is very less. It starts at 10,000 rupees. I mean, it is about 10,000. Finally, when it gets sanctioned, it comes around 8,000 rupees. That is as a seed funding. I mean, that is just an encouragement. So at MSc level, that is the usual one that students would do. But if you're looking at a larger amount, then there are able lead programs. Now, there's something called as Association of Biotechnology-led Entrepreneurs, by Association of Biotechnology-led Entrepreneurs, yeah, ABLE, based out of Bangalore. They have competitions where they select MSc students or BTech final year students based on their ideas and help them in getting their funding. That's quite a sufficient amount, but that's highly, highly competitive compared to this Tamil Nadu Science and Technology one.
Okay, sir.
And in fact, this big program, it is also open for MSCs. There's no hard and fast rule that only PhDs should do it. So that is why anybody who has an idea is supported. So if there's an idea and there is a mentor who can incubate and help them out, then they can easily submit the idea and go through the screening process. They're eligible to get the funding as well into their personal accounts.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So it was a wonderful session, and students have been taken much notes from you. And yes, Habina ma'am, shall we?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time in sharing your views and ideas on innovation and entrepreneurship in life sciences, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Shall we go for National Anthem?
Oh, okay.
Ma'am, photo session, ma'am.
Yeah.
Participants, please turn on your cameras for a photo session. Yes, ma'am. Taken, ma'am.
Okay.
You can proceed.
Okay.
Now let's end this section with National Anthem. Now I'll call upon Padma Shri to sing the National Anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे. Thank you.
Shall we end the session, sir? Please.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much for the
Okay.
opportunity and all the best to all the participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Ma'am, shall we?
We can end. Gayatri, we can end, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your participation. Thank you.